What is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? Welcome back here today to a NBA mock draft reaction. I haven't done a lot of draft content on the channel. I know I haven't been posting too much on this channel anyway, but yeah, we're going to be reacting to Bleacher Report's new mock draft, as I was on the wrong one over there from October. Yeah, we're going to get familiar with some of these prospects. I'm going to give you guys kind of some of my opinions, some of the prospects that I really enjoy in this upcoming draft. Like always, the article will be in the description below, and I don't know when I'm going to have my first, real mock draft at. I think I usually do it, I guess I'll probably do it either in the new year, like start of January, or around the trade deadline, which is in February, and then we'll do one when March Madness ends, we'll do one when the NBA season ends, lottery ends, and then final one before the draft. So yeah, we'll get into this. Depending on when you see this, some of the draft order picks might change around just because everybody's within a game of each other right now. So yeah, we can get into this. So the top five, no surprise here. Orlando Magic take Victor Wembanyama. Well, now I'm picturing, okay, so I don't even need to explain Wemby too much. You guys all know the drill, how good he is, how generational he is. I'm just trying to explain the fit on Orlando, which I like. Him and Banchero, I think, would work out, and then you'd have Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero, Victor Wembanyama as your 3, 4, 5 long term. Then you hopefully fill out the backcourt. Either it's Suggs, Fultz, Anthony, or somebody else coming in, maybe a trade being made. Yeah, I mean, Orlando, you would have a front court for the next 10 years of Wemby and Banchero. Now, I wonder, with Wagner, with Banchero, and with Wemby, whose numbers would diminish? I don't think Wemby's going to come in and average 20 right away. I mean, there's a chance that he does. Probably will. But it could take him a little bit of time to get acclimated, and maybe Franz's numbers were affected, or maybe Banchero's numbers could be affected, and maybe Banchero wouldn't like that. But either way, Bol, Wemby on the same team would be electric. Next up, we have the Detroit Pistons. This is such a weird position from them because they don't need Scoot. I know Cade's going to miss most of the season, but you would have Scoot, Ivy, and Cade. Can you work that out, or are you giving up on Ivy because of how generational kind of Scoot is, and how generational, well, I wouldn't say he was a generational prospect, but same with Scoot, but how good Cade Cunningham was? You're not giving up on Cade. You kind of gave up on Killian a little bit when you drafted Ivy, and maybe when you drafted Cade. I'm not saying you completely did, because Killian wasn't the best. And then I guess this hurts Ivy a lot. Maybe Ivy gets traded, or maybe they would trade out of this pick. Maybe the Spurs would give them all the picks that they got from the DeJounte Murray trade to literally move up to take Scoot. You can have that draft capital if you love somebody at 3. But yeah, love Scoot. I like him on a lot of different teams other than Detroit, like San Antonio, Washington. We'll get into a couple teams later on as well. Even Orlando, I would like Scoot on a lot. But yeah, they have Scoot going to Detroit, basically where the draft is right now. Number 3, we have the San Antonio Spurs selecting Amen Thompson. Definitely the better, who has separated himself from his twin, Asor Thompson. Incredible athlete, man. Incredible. He's got great court vision. He's becoming more of a point guard rather than a guard/wing that at least I thought he was going to be going into this season for the Overtime Elite. It's really hard to kind of watch their game. I'll watch them on YouTube and stuff like that, and you can watch highlights there. But he looks incredible as an athlete, and I would really like him on the Spurs. You could have him, Vassell, Keldon Johnson. Nice trio going forward. Nick Smith, shout out to the Supersonics franchise, going to Charlotte here. He would be a complimentary piece to LaMelo Ball. Now, Hornets are probably a team that would, oh my God, they would need Wemby. I mean, every team could need a Wemby, but this would help out the Charlotte Hornets a lot, especially with LaMelo Ball, because that team, it's in a weird spot. It really is. But getting Nick Smith, who I love, Arkansas, he missed the start of the season due to injury. Very crafty with the ball. He can also play off ball as well. He's 6'5", so he could definitely play that too if he turns into a good defender. Chef's kiss, he could play next to LaMelo Ball. I'm sure Scoot Henderson and LaMelo will be able to get it done, but I think Smith could be being a better fit next to LaMelo than Scoot. And then we wrap out at 5, the Houston Rockets, Cam Whitmore, who also missed the start of the season, the collegiate season at Nova due to injury, but he has been incredible since he's came in. He has got great size, good wing, can be a 3-level scorer in my opinion, and then he also has insane defensive playmaking, well, as it mentions right there. But yeah, he's going to be a good defender, and you're getting a good 3-and-D guy. The Rockets kind of need that on the wing next to Jalen Green. I mean, yes, I would love Scoot Henderson or Wemby on this team, but hey, you could have Kevin Porter Jr., Jalen Green, Cam Whitmore, Jabari Smith, Alperen Sengun going into next season. I would be a fan of that. So that is how they have the top 5. That's probably what I would do. I don't think I would have Nick Smith at 4 right now. I'd probably have Whitmore at 4. Maybe, I don't know if I would put Brandon Miller that high or Khalil Ware. I don't mind Nick Smith there at 4, or in the top 5. I'd probably have Whitmore ahead of him. You could also have Keontae George. Oh, that's the picture of. Yeah, just maybe because of his size. I would maybe have at least that I'm envisioning next to LaMelo Ball, but we'll get into this. Number 6, we have a Sword Thompson. This seems a little bit high right now. I feel like a Sword Thompson has gone around the 10-12 range, or it looks like where he's being ranked as a consensus, but this would go to Orlando via the Bulls. Oh my god, imagine you end up with Wemby and a Sword Thompson this draft. Would be insane. But yeah, a Sword Thompson, another guard, or another, I guess he's a wing, going to Orlando. And if you can get like a true 2, which I think Keontae George could be for them, and I would go Keontae George if I was them here. Instead, you would have like a perfect starting 5, man. You could have pick your point guard, Cole, Fultz, Suggs at the 1, and then you'd have Keontae George at the 2, then you would have Franz and Caro, Wemby, if no Wemby, Wendell Carter Jr. But yeah, we have a Sword Thompson going there. I mean, he could fit in at the 2, where I just said Keontae George to the Pelicans. Oh man, I love that. Eventually, you groom Dyson Daniels to be that point guard for the future, and you'd have like Daniels, George, Ingram, Zion. Maybe figure out the 5. Maybe you go Kilo Ware here if you like him enough. But Keontae George to New Orleans. I love Keontae George as a prospect. I do. Great playmaking ability. The dude could be an elite 3-and-D guy in the league, in my opinion. Washington taking Brandon Miller. Great size. Good shooter. Jesus, like this guy is kind of a freak athlete. He's going to be really good. Like this draft, I think in the top 8. I don't love maybe a Sword Thompson as much as I think this is Jonathan Wasserman's draft. And I think Dariq Whitehead is still going to be a very good player. But there's a lot of talent, or at least a lot of athleticism. Every one of these guys are athletic as hell. I'm not sure if that's just the way kind of everything's going, because it seems like as generations come along, people get more athletic, and that's how it is. I wish I got some of those genes. But yeah, Brandon Miller to the Wizards at 8. I like that a lot, especially if they do lose Kuzma in free agency. 9, Miami Heat. Wow, yeah, Miami Heat being in the top 10, which is kind of crazy, but hey, this would kind of be nice for them. If they could hit on this pick, which they have a great track record at drafting, Hero, Bam most recently, this would be amazing, because Kyle Lowry would eventually retire. You'd have Cason Wallace, Tyler Hero, and Bam for the long, long future, and at least in the immediate future, you'd have Jimmy Butler. Or maybe you say, let's do a soft reboot. Let's put Jimmy Butler on the block, maybe get another young talent, and boom, you have a great young core in this league. Love Cason Wallace of the Heat at 9. My Knicks at 10, taking Anthony Black, getting another point guard / shooting guard. I don't mind this either. Somebody that has good size. It looks like he could be a good 3-point shooter, good defender, and he could be the backup point guard with Derrick Rose most likely leaving. It doesn't seem like the Knicks love Emmanuel Quickly. It seems like he's in trade rumors, and he's kind of a tweener between a point guard and a shooting guard. And then eventually, like if Brunson gets hurt, you groom him, or maybe you can play them together. Jarace Walker to the Thunder at 11. I don't love Jarace Walker right now. I do feel like he's a very raw player, but that's what the Thunder seem on drafting, so I guess that makes sense. Jazz getting Khalil Ware. Love that. I love Ware in this draft. I'm hoping I'm never butchering it, but this guy could be a really good player. Talk about his able to space the floor at the 5. Utah seems like a perfect fit, even though Walker Kessler's having a good season so far. GG Jackson, I guess we'll call him GG because sometimes it's Gregory. I don't know. I think that might be just 2K drafts. But yeah, GG Jackson got off to a great start for South Carolina this year. Go him on Golden State, I'd like a lot. He could be eventually the Draymond replacement if you think Kuminga's maybe not that guy. But yeah, the Warriors I don't expect to be picking at 13 at season's end. This would be my dream. The Knicks get the 10th pick via them, and then they get 14 from the Mavericks from the KP trade, and you can get Terquavion Smith, another guard. He could have went out in the draft last year and been a first-round pick in my opinion, but then he ended up staying at NC State, and he could be a good playmaking guard, man. That's basically what he is. He could score, he could pass, and he's comparing him to Bones Highland and Jordan Poole. I think in the lottery, hey, and maybe it makes the KP trade look a little bit better for them. All right, so we'll go to 15 and 30 a little bit quicker, but that's where a lot of the top-end talent is. Grady Dick. Yeah, this guy could, I think, be a top 12 guy. He is an incredible shooter for Kansas this year as a freshman. Brooklyn would appreciate that a lot. Dariq Whitehead, I think he'll go up a little bit more because he had that foot injury to start the year. He was one of the preseason top draft prospects, definitely a top 7 guy, one of the best college prospects as well when you say a guy like Scoot and Wemby and the Thompson twins. But yeah, Dariq Whitehead, absolute stud. I think he'll be a top 12 pick at year's end. Jed Howard out of Michigan, somebody I didn't really hear too much about preseason, but this dude can shoot the lights out of the gym. Kyle Filipowski, good Duke player, has made a nice defensive impact for them to start the season. Maxwell Lewis at Pepperdine, Don't know much about him. Not going to say here and why do that I know much about Maxwell Lewis. I'll have to just kind of keep my eyes on him. Pepperdine wing, okay. Rookie council going to the Pacers at 20, so we don't see Jordan Walsh's name yet. I mean, I don't think he's going to be as high as some of these other guys, but yeah, just another Arkansas player. Arkansas is stacked with draft talent. We've already mentioned Nick Smith and Anthony Black. We got Trayvon Brazil. We don't know much about him either. Maybe it's because I'm watching some of the other Arkansas guys, but damn, Arkansas's got some crazy talent, at least scoring to Wasserman. Chris Murray, yes, to the Clippers at 22. Can really be a scorer, man, in this league. And I think he'll go a little bit higher just because they're able to score. I guess because he's a junior, he thinks he might go later. I think Dylan Mitchell has immense potential. Might be a little bit raw, but yeah, this dude has great athleticism. And at 23, I think that would be a very nice pick for the Kings. Taylor Hendricks out of UCF. Don't know much about him. Maybe it's because he's an American, but hey, maybe I'm a fake Temple fan. JJ Starling, freshman out of Notre Dame. I've seen a little bit from him. Looks crazy athletic. We'll need to watch more as the season goes along. We have Bryce Sensabaugh to the Grizzlies at 26. Tyrese Proctor, who I like a lot, out of Duke to 27. I feel like Duke just always has these guards that are smart players that will go in the late first, early second. I mean, most recently we had Trevor Keels. We had Trey Jones. Somebody else I'm definitely forgetting, but yeah, it seems like they always have those guards. Ryan Rupert out of the New Zealand Breakers, 2004. I'm so old. Marcus Sasser, senior, but dude could just, he's a bucket, I feel like. I mean, yeah, maybe his efficiency numbers aren't great. I just don't know him off the top of my head. But Houston's one of the better teams. I don't know if they're still number one in college basketball when I'm recording this. Derek Lively to the Pacers at 30. He has dropped a little bit. It was kind of like Ware, and Lively is the second best center in this class behind Wemby. It's looking like it's going to be Ware right now. He actually does a second rounder. Some notable names, Amari Bailey and Leonard Miller. Leonard Miller, Julie Ignite, Amari Bailey. A lot of high school hype going there so far. Terrence Shannon, senior at Illinois, former Texas Tech player, right? I believe so. Julian Strother, Benet Gonzaga for a minute. Good veteran player. Julian Phillips, he's kind of dropped a little bit. There is Amani Bates. I was wondering how high he was going to have Amani Bates, but he's been kind of solid so far for Eastern Michigan after not working out in Memphis. Arthur Kaluma there to the Cavs at 46. That seems a little bit low, but maybe not. I was going to say, is this Najee's brother, but out of Barcelona, no. Just 2004, man. Crazy. Jaime Jaquez, senior out of UCLA, going to Charlotte. Solid scorer as well. Trace Jackson Davis, Indiana. He's kind of fallen off a little bit. Caleb Love to the Bucks at 56. Shout out UNC. I don't really love. Oh my god, I was gonna do it. I don't love Caleb Love's game. Sorry that I did that. And then Oscar Tshiebwe at 60. Nah, he's got to be higher. He's just a physical presence down low. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this draft class. Let me know maybe your favorite prospect that's not named Wemby or Scoot Henderson down below. Who's somebody you're keeping an eye on, or maybe who's somebody you want your team to draft. Drop a like if you did enjoy, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.